Starting in quarantine without an end in sight, we're bringing to you advice and good conversation from one teenager to another. This is Chelsea with Armbridge, a podcast we hope to be informative and reflective of the everyday world around us. Thank you for joining us today. It is finally August. It's August 7th. Last week, Sanika talked about de-stressing and philosophizing about everyday life. And this week, I'm kind of taking it's not really a 180, but recently, being in quarantine, I think I've just been hyper-focused on a lot of things that I shouldn't be hyper-focused on. I don't really know if this makes sense, but I've been more irritated at things that don't matter. I've been more excited about things that don't matter. So today, I'm actually just going to rate all of these things that have been bothering me in quarantine using a tier list. Yes, I am using a tier list. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is very subjective, and none of these topics relate to each other. They're all just things that have been living in my mind for absolutely no reason at all. Okay, here we go. We are going to be tier listing. This is going to be great. Very, very exciting stuff. The first thing on my list is souffle pancakes. This is probably one of the best and worst ideas I've ever had. But anyway, souffle pancakes, my brother made them the other day, and they're so good. I don't know, it's just like the texture and the sweetness, because usually when we have pancakes, they come from a box, like the box mix, and they're not bad, they're not good, they're just there. But souffle pancakes are like a whole other level of taste and flavor. They're just really good. I don't have a reason. I really don't have a reason other than that they're really good. And I've been thinking about having them every day, but I know that the work to put in to make them far exceeds my laziness. And I'd rather wake up late than make a souffle pancake. But anyway, I'm going to put them in S tier just because they taste really good. And the impact they've had on me for the past week has been immense. So that's gonna go at the very top for me. Okay, the next one, it's so weird because these topics are so random. Anyway, okay, so for context, right, there's this show, a number of times my brother has heard about this is insane. But anyway, there's this show called Show Me the Money. So essentially what it is it's like The Voice, if you know how The Voice works, but for hip-hop. And the way it works is that every round there's elimination, right? So the first is auditioning, and then up until the end where you have like 3 finalists. But the first round, up until the last, the musicians who compete will use their own lyrics. Like the beats can exist when they do challenges and stuff like that, but throughout the whole show they do their own lyrics. And it's super weird because the people that can audition range from amateurs to people who actually have a rap career. It's super random. It's like if an amateur singer who's like really, really good is also in the same show as, I don't know, Adele. It's so weird. And therefore there's a lot of biased judging. There's a lot of, I don't know, just drama. It's really, really fun to watch. I recommend you go watch it. If you look up Show Me the Money subs, you'll be able to find a list of past seasons with English subtitles. But anyway, this season, I don't even know what to say about this season. Okay, there are huge spoilers. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm just going to... Anyway, this is insane. But there were rounds where people were eliminated for just no reason. One of my favorite contestants, I don't think he wins this year, which I think he was robbed of last year. You guys have obviously heard us talk about Trap House Guy. Trap House Guy, also known as EK. EK is my favorite contestant. He was robbed of a finalist spot last year, and that just makes me so upset. I'm going to get to that later. Anyway, but this season has just been so chaotic, so biased. Just people being eliminated left and right. The diss battle was crazy. There's a diss battle episode. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting really worked up over season 8. And the subtitles haven't been coming out recently because the person doing them is in med school right now, so she's really busy, which is okay. I'm totally cool with that. I'll wait. But anyway, it's been one of the most polarizing seasons for me. Thankfully, there have been more female contestants, and yeah, I don't know. It's just extremely infuriating. I'm going to get to season 7 in a minute. It's sort of down this list, but anyway, I'm gonna put it in like C tier because it's okay. It's just, I don't know. There are only 2 teams, which makes it kind of problematic. You know, on The Voice, right? They have like 4 different teams with different judges. There are only 2 teams this year, so people are getting eliminated more often because there are only 2 teams, and they have to narrow it down more quickly. It's the worst. It's really bad. C tier for me. Okay. This is already going off to a really terrible start. Alright, the third thing I'm going to talk about is manifestation. Actually, I saw this TikTok where the girl talking about it, she said, okay, if you're going to try manifestation, you have to start with small stuff first. So she was saying, okay, you have to imagine something sort of abstract, right? And she said pink butterfly. And you think about this thing, like this pink butterfly, you put it in the back of your head, you just close it off, you don't hyper focus on it, and then the next day you will see a pink butterfly. Like whether that be on TV, maybe you see a picture, something like that, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I was a little bit skeptical. And I also thought about a pink butterfly. I put it in the back of my head. I didn't think about it really until the next day. I was on Instagram, I was scrolling through my Explore page, and I saw an ad of a little handbag thing, and it was butterfly printed. And on the butterfly print, okay, there were pink butterflies. I was like, okay, no way, right? I thought, you know, if I didn't see that TikTok, would I have been on Instagram at that time of day yesterday? Or is this just a coincidence? But anyway, it's been freaking me out. It worked. I tried it again today or yesterday with a different word. So I'm still waiting today if something is going to happen. But anyway, that was just super crazy to me. That one moment really made me believe in manifestation. So I'm going to put that in A tier, actually. Since I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen enough evidence of this working. But I think it does work in some ways. I'm going to put it there for now because it was super shocking and really cool. And I'm going to leave it there just to sort of... It's not S tier yet because nothing crazy has happened. But that was still... Or nothing super crazy has happened. We're going to reserve that for a hot minute. Okay. This fourth thing, right here, it's kind of small to see, but recently I've been watching One Piece. I finished all of the episodes on Netflix. There were like 130. So I got through that. And one of my favorite characters so far has been Nico Robin of One Piece. And for those of you who don't know, One Piece is just, it's one of the most popular shonen animes out there, like, ever. It's still going on, 900 plus episodes. Super exhausting, but anyway, Nico Robin is a really cool character. She's an archaeologist, which is really fun and fresh, and I just really liked her character. There's no rationale behind it, I just thought she was really cool. And okay, I looked up a picture of her to make it as my profile picture for another account, and for some reason her appearance just completely changes. I posted this on my close friends story because it irked me so much for some reason, and I guess I can insert a picture sort of like right in this general area, but anyway, she goes from being, I don't know, you know that me versus animated me trend? I know no one's going to answer me on this because I'm just talking to myself, but I felt like maybe she looked the closest to me, and I thought it was really cool. But again, I looked up a picture of her, and apparently her skin gets like so much lighter, and her facial features just totally change. Her hair is like a different color for some reason. Because in One Piece, there's a time skip somewhere in the middle of the series, which I haven't gotten to yet. And there's no logic as to why she looks like that now. doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm just sad because I know at one point she's not going to look like me anymore, or I'm not going to look like her anymore, because the character design just does a total 180. It's just so disappointing. And I don't want to look up any reason as to why this happened, because maybe there's going to be a spoiler. Maybe she actually dies in the series. I wouldn't know. And just for that general dissatisfaction, honestly, I'm going to have to put the character design change into D tier. It's not F tier because I still really love her as a character, and maybe she's still the same character later on in the show. But yeah, I was just really sad about that. I don't know why they did that. And anyway, okay. I've only been through 4 things. It's just driving me mad as to how much these things affect me. And they probably don't matter to anyone else, which is kind of funny in a way, but okay. Alright, number 5. This, if you can't see, these are really small pictures. This is Korean rapper PH1's dog. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think I'm just hypersensitive to everything now, and I already really like cats and dogs. They're so cute. I really want a cat myself, and I've been watching a lot of videos about people rescuing cats and dogs and adopting them. And the other day I was out running and I saw this cat all by itself in a bush. I kept trying to approach this cat. I don't think it liked me. I was being very direct. My love for the cat was just like radiating out. Maybe it was too much. It didn't come towards me, so it's really sad. And anyway, PH1's dog is just the cutest, most dripped out dog in existence. Like every time the account for her posts on Instagram, I just have this small I just have like a moment where I curl up and I'm just so full of emotion. I'm not sure what it is. I just really like she's so cute and she's so small and she has these cute little necklaces all the time and like little t-shirts. She's just the cutest dog in the world. And it really, I don't know, it makes me happy. Cat and dog content just makes me really happy. And I was already emotional about cats and dogs before this. Now I'm really emotional about cats and dogs. As I saw this video as well from BBC, I think that a lot of people are starting to adopt animals, but are not sure how to take care of them, because some of them are first-time pet owners, some of them adopted, animals because, people are in quarantine. They'd like a companion, an animal, and a lot of animals are also being abandoned as well, so as a result of people not knowing how to take care of them. So just the thought of that and the thought of really cute animals existing is not a great combination for me, so, but anyway, PH1's dog herself, her name is Holly. I'm going to put her in S tier. And I'm not saying that I'm going to compare her to a souffle pancake, because she and the souffle pancake are in the same tier. Again, please take this at face value. All of these things are not related in any way. So, okay. I put a picture of the 6th thing I'm going to talk about, One Piece. I put a picture of One Piece here since it's the anime that I'm watching right now. But, I don't know. This is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but before, when I was in middle school, I was very passionate about the things that I liked, K-pop, anime. I think there's sort of a stigma around people that are fans of these things. I'm not really sure, right? There's the Koreaboo sort of trope. There are quote-unquote weebs, right? And I sort of felt not cool for liking anime, and I didn't actually know a lot of people that were into anime aside from me and my siblings, right? And I just stopped watching it. I also was in, school. I was pretty busy. But even over the summer, I sort of lost that passion for watching anime and, listening to Korean music and everything. Because at the end of the day, despite these mediums being from other countries, they're still very enjoyable for people around the world. And I finished quite a few animes in this quarantine. I finished JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. I'm watching One Piece. I finished Death Note, which was actually kind of good. Before, I just didn't want anything to do with it. I thought the concept was kind of, dark. There was death everywhere, obviously, because it's called Death Note. I just avoided it. And I read a lot of mangas as well. Golden Kamui, I'm reading right now. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, I'm reading right now. And I think I've been connecting more with my younger self, who used to not talk about these things and not be vocal about these things, because as I got older, just fewer and fewer people liked these things in general. But yeah, I guess this One Piece picture right here is going to represent more of I keep leaning. If anyone's watching YouTube, I'm leaning heavily towards my microphone. I don't know why. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to this picture is sort of anime in general. Most notably One Piece, since I'm watching it right now. I'm gonna put it sort of in the A tier. Not S tier yet, since I'm reconnecting. I'm in this state of reconnecting with these things. Okay. Every time I look down at this list, it just gets more and more random, and I don't really know what to do with all this information. Okay, this 6th picture is pretty hard to see down here, but it's a banana blossom. Okay, I don't know what to say about this. Banana blossoms are just the weirdest thing. One of the weirdest, plants to ever be consumed by human beings. It's not gross or anything. I've personally never tried it, but it doesn't seem like it would taste bad and whatnot. But okay, essentially, what a banana blossom is, it's sort of this cone-shaped, closed-up cone, and inside it there are little fibers, I guess. Hopefully I can insert a picture somewhere just to show you. But this banana blossom is where bananas will grow from. It's oh my god. It's just stressing me out thinking about talking about it. But anyway, there are tons and tons of little fibers that are baby bananas. These are bananas that are not yet grown, okay? All bunched up in this cone-shaped leafy fruit case thing. And eventually, when it blooms, a few of these small fibers will fall out or come out, I think, and the other ones will become bananas, right? So a bunch of bananas, if you go to the grocery store, you get a bunch of bananas. Those used to be from a flower. Bananas come from flowers. And if you look up banana blossom online, they're actually quite nice looking flowers, but it's so weird how they develop, and it's so weird that when you stir fry this, or when you cook banana blossoms, they're apparently a vegan substitute for fish, if I'm not mistaken, because fish can be pretty flaky, right, for those of you that do eat it. And I guess a banana blossom, if you cook it right, can be like a fish. I don't know, there's just a lot going on with it. It's mildly annoying, but it's also kind of interesting. So for that notion, I'm probably just going to put it in the B tier, since, again, it's interesting, yet it's kind of creepy, and I can't imagine full-sized bananas coming out of the banana blossom. Really weird. Okay, and on that note with food, here there's just a picture of Cookist. Okay, this is a channel that's like BuzzFeed. On Instagram, they do, those videos they show you a bunch of ingredients, mix them together, it makes this really nice looking food. Okay, so I tried making this thing called a cream cake, and basically in it there's this really weird mixture of ingredients. I don't know why I thought it would turn out the way it was supposed to. Okay, anyway, in it there's cottage cheese, there's honey, yogurt, vanilla, and a few other ingredients. Those are the ones I can remember. The weirdest one was cottage cheese. And when you combined all of these ingredients and, you know, baked it in the oven, it would come out looking like a cheesecake. I was like, I'm not really sure how how that's supposed to work, right? I don't know. And I put all of these ingredients together. I put it in the oven. I did everything exactly as instructed, right? It came out and it was just so bad tasting that I was like, how does it, I don't understand. Is it even supposed to taste good? It didn't even look good. It was really brown and weird because I put fruits in there. It was just this really ugly color. It looked nothing like the one that I made or the one in the video. It tasted nothing like I thought it would. And the only thing I could think of was in the video, right, they used cottage cheese that didn't have curds in it. The best way I can explain a curd is like sort of a solid part of cheese, and then the rest of the cheese, like the curds are like small crumbs of cheese, and they're in this suspended liquid-y-ish cheese. I don't even know if this makes sense. But the cottage cheese they used in the video did not have any curds, right? It was just smooth. So I was like, my first instinct was, okay, you know, maybe I have to use a cottage cheese that's smooth. That was my first reaction when I just saw it come out of the oven, looking all ugly. And then I tasted it. It was just not good. It wasn't gross. Creaky chair, my bad. Okay. It was just not good. It just didn't taste good at all. And I had no idea what was up with that. So I just like, I don't know, it was just not good. So for that, I'm putting it in F tier. I'm just so disappointed. I'm just really disappointed in it. But yeah, okay. on a lighter note, here is a picture of Jay Park, one of my favorite like Korean hip-hop artists, and just artists of like all time. He's a really cool person in general, makes really good music. But anyway, there was a tweet where he, I don't know, this was just so sad to me, because there was a tweet that he made about retiring from the music industry for just no reason, and I was like, for what? Like, why is this even happening? There are so many bad things happening in general, and you know, why is this happening? Why is he retiring? I don't know why. Because he's the CEO of like two labels, two Korean hip hop labels. They're both, I guess you could say like sister labels. And one of the main reasons apparently for his retirement is like, you know, focusing on being a CEO rather than a musician. But that's just so weird to me. I don't know. It's just, I think I'm just upset because it's possible he could retire. And for that, you know, for that sentiment of wanting to be a good CEO, it's gonna go in A tier for me. Because, you know, at that point in your career, spanning more than 10 years, yeah, it's a very bold move. And speaking of Korean hip-hop, okay, we've come full circle, guys, to last year's season of Show Me the Money. Okay, season 7 of Show Me the Money. Season 7, okay. Season 7 was just, I don't know, there were some really iconic moments. That was when Trap House Guy, aka EK, was introduced to me, and there's just this really iconic clip of him dancing during one of the rounds. You've probably, if you follow our Instagram, you might have seen this already, but I'm probably going to insert it here.
Yeah. EK, 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 EK.
유명하지도 않은 채로 all out 목표 달성 뒷모습은 랩 오바마 on flick so I dip slip 앞에 메인 디시 멋이 베이지 굳이 왜 설명 BPM 리듬 타고 우리 곡을 조져 그래 killing track 이미지에 비대신 래퍼 기대 비대신 미래신 빌리머진 내 기름 세계 most of better
We the VIP
I'm a boss 자수성가 형 멋이 쑤시고 하는 거 말고 몇 차 뒤로 쭉 늘어나는 공 부르욕을 보 그래 이제 나의 가능성에 BMC 동감 내기 래퍼 둘이야 우리 힘 밑에 깔려 래퍼들과 집회 이거리는 네가 뭐라든 길이 see again
Anyway, it was a really fun season. PH1 was on that season. A guy that we Armbridge stan very much, Nafla, who we talked about, was also on that season. Oh, sorry, there are a few spoilers for this. But anyway, again, as I had mentioned before, I'm getting worked up again. Okay, as I mentioned before, in season 8, okay, EK did not make the final 3. Okay, I am in the process of editing right now, and I meant to say that in season 7, he didn't make the top 3. I'm still waiting for the results of this season, so please excuse me, I have no idea what happened in season 8. Okay, bye. For what reason, I don't know. I can only assume it's because the person he was against in the elimination round before finals was more well known and was one of the contenders to win. The thing about this show is that, like, within the first episode, because professional musicians can also audition. Again, this is like you, an amateur, competing against Adele, right? A lot of people are going to assume that Adele is a contender to win. Like Show Me the Money, there were contenders to win from the first episode when people were auditioning. They hadn't even been through the show yet, but they were already professional musicians. So, of course, they had a greater chance of, like, moving on because people are biased and believe that they're going to win. So, yeah, this guy who beat him, Kid Millie, is also a really good musician, by the way. Not gonna diss him. I think he deserved it as well. But again, he was more well known, and there was an audience vote to determine who moved on. And okay, sorry, but EK's performance, alright, in Show Me the Money 7 was literally god tier. You know, there were light effects. He danced in the video, in the performance, right? The song was so high energy. It was just so good. It's called God, 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 like the word God 3 times. If you look it up, God, 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 SMTM 8 or SMTM 7 or God, 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 EK, you'll probably find the performance. It's really, really good. I think it's, I don't know, it's just amazing. He was robbed, really. So, for that alone, I'm going to put it in C tier along with Show Me the Money 8 because every year there are really high moments, like, yes, like this is happening, but there are also really low moments. And there are some things that I believe that happened were super unnecessary, but you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't know. I just don't know. But again, I recommend you watch the show. It's really fun, and the episodes are really long and full of original music throughout as you go on, so I would definitely recommend it. Okay, moving on. Alright, so this down here, excuse me, is a picture of an AC system. The weird thing about my house is that some rooms are just really, really cold, and some rooms are really, really hot. As we speak, there is like no air circulating through my room right now, and sometimes I just break out sweating even though I'm doing nothing. Like, I keep this paper fan right here that I made out of scrap paper. It's like that accordion fold that you've done occasionally, maybe in middle school, or not middle school, elementary school. I keep this next to me all the time because I just get hot out of nowhere, and I have to keep my door open the whole day just to get even a sliver of air. It's been bothering me. On like one side, on one hand of it, see, my parents are from the Philippines, okay? So I was like, you know what, my parents dealt with worse. When they were in the Philippines, there was no AC. It was just hot all the time. But at the same time, I was like, it's hot. I'm in Texas. Oh, there's the sweat. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It's summertime, okay? Like, it's going to be like this, whatever. I don't know. It's really bad. And for that, I'm putting it in F tier. It's just F tier. It's just I don't blame the AC system that much. You know, this happens every year, and I've always put up with it, but I think it's because since I've been at home for longer, I started to notice that things going on. And sort of segue into the next thing. Speaking of staying at home, the only time that I really go outside nowadays is to drop my brothers off and pick them up from swim practice. And the parking lot the parking lot next to the pool, right, is kind of narrow. It's like not super narrow, it's okay. But when people drop off their kids, I feel like this is a very this is a suburban mom problem. I don't even know why I'm so just fed up with it. But anyway, the car line leading to the pool is right like where people line up to drop off their kids. Like they'll stop in the middle of the parking lot, and I can't back up because people won't park and drop their kids off. They're just going to go in this line, wait until the kid gets off. But sometimes the line builds up because people don't move up all the way as far as they can to the front of the parking lot, and I guess their kids take a while to get out. So I have to like back up and then go back in and then back up and then go back into the parking spot because I don't know I don't know when I'm going to be able to leave this parking lot. It's just, I don't know, the parking lot like etiquette is not great, and I get it, like your kid's probably late for swim practice. That's probably why, like, you know, they're lining up like that. Anyway, I'm just gonna put it in like D tier, I guess. It's pretty inconvenient. It's not the worst thing ever. I kind of like driving because I listen to podcasts and I listen to music when I drive, so it's not terrible. But yeah, I'm just gonna put that there for the sake of it just not being that bad. It's just a mild annoyance. But is it more annoying than show me the money? Yeah, it is. There's no, looking at this list now, there's no way to fully tell how I feel about certain things. It's just the vibe that I get. Looking at this this tier list is really just a whole mess. Anyway, moving on to the next wonderful topic that's been on my mind. The other day, I was in this call with some girls from my university. My university is doing this thing where we study a college level topic, and we meet with other students, get to know them, and discuss what we learned. So we sort of went off topic since, you know, the thing we had to study is what I'm going to talk about next. But anyway, for this, we were talking, and somehow they began discussing Quebec, right? Because these two girls are from Canada, I'm not. And I was like, they were like, yeah, Quebec is like so weird because everyone speaks French, and they're just the only ones who are in. And I was like, is that just like a Canadian thing? Does everyone just not like Quebec? And they were like, if you want to move to Canada, if you're going to be here in Canada, you have to hate Quebec. And I was like, I have to hate Quebec? I didn't really know what was up with that. I just thought it was kind of funny that people felt that way about it. I thought Quebec was kind of cool. Just for the comedic value of that realization, I'm just going to put that in A tier. That's pretty funny. I don't know why. That's kind of funny. But in this study group, we had to discuss the topic of whether or not science was truth. And that's already a pretty crazy idea, right? Is science truth? the first thing I think of is, of course it is, right? But anyway, this picture here is of Karl Popper, and Karl Popper was this philosopher who believed that pseudoscience was not as true as science. Like, the theories proposed for both of these things were different. And the basic idea was that, okay, pseudosciences, like, can be proven many times, right? Like, a theory you might learn in psych could apply to a lot of people, meaning it can be proven multiple times, right? Because it's psychology. Psychology is a general study of human behavior and the human mind. But something like very, very, very specific. For example, the most prominent example is Einstein's theory of relativity. That is a very, 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 very specific theory trying to ask questions about a very, very specific thing, right? How light bends in relation to space, okay? And what he believed was that, oh my goodness, was that since this was super specific, right, it took a huge risk. At the time that Karl Popper was alive, people weren't really sure if the theory of relativity was true. It was a very ambitious thought. It was very risky, if you will. And Karl Popper believed that the more risky a theory was, the more true it could be. And to go back to pseudoscience, right, this can also include astrology. But astrology, I'm a Scorpio, right? And when I read horoscopes, the predictions are very general, and I can relate to them. But someone else who is a Scorpio, or the hundreds of other people out there that are Scorpios, thousands of other people, can also relate to these vague predictions. They're not very risky. They're very general. And so they're not super true because they're not trying to risk anything. They're not trying to predict a specific thing about me. If the horoscope were to say, you're going to talk to a friend today. I mean, of course I am. I've been texting some of my friends. Of course I'm going to. But it's not absolute truth. I guess, I don't know. It's very confusing, but I hope that kind of makes sense. I'm not really sure. But this made me think, like, wow, what is even real anymore? Like, what is even going on? I didn't really know what to say. I really recommend you look up Karl Popper, Karl with a K, Popper, Popper, and yeah, that his theories and the Matrix have totally dismantled my idea of reality. So for that, I'm putting that in S tier. I'm putting Karl Popper himself in S tier because it's just it's so crazy to me. Okay, and we're down to our last 4 things. It's already been a very long time that I've been talking. But yeah, these last 4 things here, starting with my desk. My desk, okay, is very narrow. It sort of looks like this, where there's like 2 columns on the side and then something on top. I can't push my chair all the way in because it's kind of wide. I don't think I can really show my chair, but it's too wide, so I can't push myself all the way into my desk. I'm sitting pretty far from my desk right now. I'd say about almost a foot away from my desk. This is the furthest my chair can go in. It can't go in further than this. Like me right now, yeah. It's just been bothering me. My back hurts a lot, and I'm just gonna put it in, F tier. It's just hindering my work, hindering my, I don't know, the note-taking and bullet journaling that I've been doing with the next thing I'm talking about. Super tip Crayola markers. These markers are superior. They're so great because I always thought like I had to buy a lot of brush pens to have that really nice calligraphy effect, but at the end of the day, Crayola super tip markers can do it all, okay? You don't need those double-tipped brush pen markers. There's a flat side. I mean, if you've seen these markers, right? I can probably get one. Okay. Yeah, these markers here, see? Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, there's like I don't know, there's a flat side, right, as you can see, and there's a tip, which is good for writing small. And when you turn the marker to its flat side and you do calligraphy, you get that nice, you know, effect, and you don't even need a brush pen. And these are probably super tip markers. Like this pack of these are probably like 20-30 bucks at most if you buy like the huge color pack. I don't know, I found a stash of them in my mom's craft room, so I've just been appalled. Of course you guys heard me talk about in my first solo episode the American Crafts brush markers. They're garbage, I hate them. Crayola super tips for the win, and for that I'm going to put them in S tier. They are going straight to S tier. Super tip, S for super tip markers. Awesome. And okay, these last two things are kind of related, but recently, sort of close off before we get into deep questions with friends, I really want a tripod for my phone, because right now my phone, I'm filming this with my phone, is sitting on top of a picture frame. Oh, this is like really bad setup here. It's like sitting on top of this this picture frame, and then it's being held from the back by this like pencil thing. It's so whack. I feel like I really need some professional pro equipment, and having a tripod for my podcast would make it so much better and so much nicer. I'll put it in A tier. I just really think it would make me feel like a professional YouTuber. And speaking of YouTube, my last thing that I'm going to talk about today is my new YouTube channel. I started uploading a few videos on my personal YouTube channel because I thought, you know, it would be a nice alternative way to earn some money. And I also thought it would be fun to sort of put up or keep up with a new hobby during quarantine. I actually don't start school for another month, so I'm pretty, you know, I have a lot of free time. And starting my own YouTube channel so far has made me realize that YouTubers have to go through so much. There's so much planning and preparation you need to do for these videos, but I think I've started to have some really nice creative ideas, and for that, for stimulating my brain, I'm gonna put that in A tier. Okay, so this is my finished tier list of things that have been in my mind for the past week. This is it. Here it is. For those of you watching on YouTube, it's all nice. I'm gonna post it on our Instagram soon enough. And yeah, this is sort of the end towards where we get to deep questions with friends. And right now, I'm going to tell you guys about the song of the week. Our song of the week is Shelly's It's Chill by Blimes and Gab. I actually found this song, like Eric Reprede's Niche from my other solo episode, I actually found it from a targeted Instagram ad, and I actually really like Blimes and Gab. They make really good old school hip-hop music, even though they're modern artists right now. And the song itself is really groovy, it's super catchy, and we really hope you guys listen to it. Unfortunately, we can only play the songs of the week through Anchor. I'm going to try and put this one up on YouTube and see how it goes, because I think one of our videos is partially banned. And for those of you who don't know, I believe the song of the week doesn't show up on Spotify. So if you would want to listen to the song of the week during the podcast, tune into YouTube and Anchor. But everywhere else, we will be posting our songs of the week on our Spotify playlists, which you can go to, which I'm going to talk about later when we conclude the video. And anyway, if you're listening to Anchor or YouTube, here's our song of the week. If not, we are rolling straight into deep questions with friends.
I just wanna cruise with you, groove with you. Baby, we can dance tonight. I wanna feel the mood with you, cool with you. Baby, let's just do it right. Can I get next to you? Anything less won't do. So I suggest you get to moving, to stepping in this venue as I pull myself against you. I don't care whose hair is clearly you I'm choosing.
millimeters. You and me, this gravity, I feel the real between us. Bring it right here, I'll show you where you see this. Yeah, I'm like an usher in the movie theater, who eager to get it later than a kitty box. So we show love, give hugs, and we merely rock. Back to my spot, a few city blocks, I'm used to these walks. Tonight we don't talk, let our hands do the work. We blue collar, ooh holla, got the juice like Adwala. Yeah, we going round for round like it's mine collar. We can chill mañana if you dollar bill with the ill nana.
Let your body speak to me. You can't deny the chemistry. I'm loving with your energy. For real, it's real. The lights is turning on. The DJ played the final song. I think it's time we take it home. We can chill, it's chill.
Before the ice melts, gon' drink that. Where the ladies at? Where the G's at? Hey, yo, DJ, gon' bring that back. Lights down, drinks back before the ice melts, gon' drink that. Where the ladies at? Where the G's at? Gon' bring that here, you know I need that. Hey.
Let your body speak to me. You can't deny the chemistry. I'm loving with your energy. For real, it's real. The lights is turning on. The DJ played the final song. I think it's time we take it home. We can chill, it's chill.
Alright. Deep questions with a friend? It's just me today. Deep questions with a friend. I'm gonna go a little crazy. We're gonna pick some really random questions. Can memories be erased? Well, I don't know. I sort of think about this like, you know how sometimes you have really embarrassing moments that you push away to the back of your head because you just don't want to remember them, and sometimes in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night, you'll just remember them? I don't know if that really counts as like erasing memories, but I think it's possible to personally ignore things that have happened or kind of push them away. I don't really know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But I think they can be erased or suppressed. That's the word, suppressed. I think they can be suppressed depending on certain things that have happened to you. You know, unfortunately, people experience PTSD. They experience things that they just want to forget. I don't think they can be totally erased, if that's what the question is asking. It just says, can memories be erased? I think they can be suppressed, but there are always nuances of those memories in the things that you do. For using the embarrassing memories sentiment, right? Let's say you had an embarrassing moment at a party. You know, if I were to go to a party again later on, I would try to avoid certain things because of that one memory I experienced, whether I do it consciously or subconsciously. And yeah, I think it's really hard because I don't know, I think there are some things about your brain and about yourself you can't control. So yeah, okay. My throat is so dry. Okay, Will stricter laws make a better world? Okay. Alright, I'm going to plug another dystopian movie. If you guys haven't seen V for Vendetta, it's scarily accurate about our government and society. It's so current. It's terrifying. The movie was made like more than 10 years ago, but it's still, I don't know, it's super scary. Anyway, the premise of the movie, I'm not going to spoil too much, but the premise of the movie is that it's a theoretical version of Great Britain, and this Great Britain as a society, they've put on so many restrictions to the people. They can't do this, they can't do that, they can't talk to this sort of person, they can't do this sort of thing. And the process throughout the movie is the main character is starting to realize and try to rebel against this tyrannical government. I feel like stricter laws can't really be applied because in a society there are many different people with different beliefs, but we all sort of hold this, I don't know, ethical code as like human beings. You know, like don't kill other people, don't lie to other people, you know, really basic things. But we have religious beliefs, we have cultural beliefs. Some people might be more conservative, some people might be more liberal, obviously. And creating stricter laws for everybody sort of suppresses these differences. And I think, you know, right, a good society consists of many different people. I wouldn't think it makes a better world. In fact, I guess it would make it worse, and I feel like people would start to, not really join forces, but come to realize that they might have to rebel against the government. Okay. This is going to be my last question. This website is kind of interesting in that at the end, they actually try to answer some of these deep questions. I'm going to read one. Okay, does time have a beginning or end? Alright. And they say neither. Interaction with time is associated with infinity, space, and matter. Fundamentally, our experience with time changes constantly, but time as a dimension does not have a beginning or end. It's boundless. Okay. I feel like time itself is a human construct. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think, obviously, at the very beginning of time, organisms lived based on their instincts. Early humans lived on their instincts and had a circadian rhythm, right? But I think time is sort of like in society's, I guess, eyes, right? As more time passes, there are different stigmas associated with things like age. You know, we have terms for a presidential election. These are all very important things that we've constructed to make our society run better, and at the same time classify things that have happened and their significance. For example, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement has been extremely prominent and an important topic to discuss nowadays. And a lot of people bring up the amount of time it has been since the first slaves landed in America up until now. And the fact that that amount of time is so large to us brings a whole new discussion about the significance of the Black Lives Matter movement and racial equality. So, you know, I think it's just something that we've learned to control, as in, you know, analyze, understand. Time itself, I don't know. I feel like the answer about neither it having a beginning or end makes sense. But in terms of its existence, I feel like we create beginnings and ends. You know, people are born, people die. There's time for people, but time itself, I really have no idea. That's actually a very good question. Yeah, I mean, with that, I'm going to conclude Deep Questions with Friends. Again, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This has been a really... talked so much, my voice is kind of just dying. I filmed another video before this, so I apologize if it sounds terrible or weird right now. But yeah, this is the end of the podcast. An announcement I'd like to make is that we have moved our website from Linktree to Card. So now I'm going to put it above me and in the video description and podcast description, but we are now at armbridgepodcast.card.co. It's way more organized, and actually maybe I can like visit the website right now. So here it is, armbridgepodcast.card.co. Pressing enter. This is the new website. It looks so much better. Here we just have our trailer, description about our podcast, our main socials of where we stream and communicate with everyone. We just created a Twitter at armbridgepod. We've created a list of resources for everyone to help out with the causes occurring today. a few little things we can check out here. And we've also created Spotify playlists. Unfortunately, when you go onto Spotify, you can't see the playlists we made, so I've linked them individually here. It includes our songs of the week, and it includes some playlists we're going to make based on episode references and our personal tastes. So I have one here for some K-hip-hop essentials, if you would like to get started with that. We have linked here our questions that we use for deep questions with friends. Again, thank you, alcation.com, and our other streaming platforms, which are not as popular. A lot of these I never heard of, but in case you want to stream them somewhere else, like on Apple or Google Podcasts, they're also here at the bottom, and we'll be adding more as time flies. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in again. I'm saying this another time. We'll see you guys next week on Tuesday with another episode. Okay, bye-bye.